Right now, there are some amazing cycling experiences waiting just for you, but there's a good chance that you may never get to experience them. And that's because you're battling everybody's worst enemies. Do you ever feel that something's getting between you and your cycling, but you just don't know what? These obstacles can stop us from riding as much as we would like, they can fool us into making excuses, and they can potentially rob us of what could be the best part of our day. But the good news is that once you can see them for what they are, they can be beaten. And when you do, cycling becomes everything that you want it to be. Now, I don't want to sound all doom and gloom now, but life can be a treadmill. It can be a soul-crushing, endless conveyor belt of work, responsibilities, and stress. But a bike is freedom, and it's your escape from all of those things and more. Some of us ride for fun, some of us ride for fitness, and some of us ride to chase our mates to the top of the next climb. Whatever reason you ride your bike, we all know that life would be a whole lot better if we could spend more time riding our bikes. Cycling is basically us grown-ups playing with our expensive toys. Sure, it can be beneficial and it can be tough as well, but at its heart, it's just plain and simple fun. Naturally, many of us ride for fitness. It's exercise without the punishment, unless of course you're pushing yourself really hard to get to the top of a steep climb, in which case it absolutely does. It gets us outside, away from our screens and emails and muggles who've never even heard of Sacalobra. It gets us into the fresh air on open roads, and it's the joy of discovering a new route. It's the adventure, it's the speed, it's the adrenaline rush, and it's finding yourself in a place that you've never been before, wondering how the hell you even got there. And then there's always the challenge, pushing past the pain, conquering the climbs, and feeling like a legend, even if you do end up walking like a clown the next day. It's solo therapy and social connection all in one. It's deep thoughts in the quiet miles and ridiculous conversations in the group rides. And it's the shared understanding that this ridiculous, wonderful sport is what keeps us sane. And of course, let's not forget the real reason. It's the moment when overweight, middle-aged men wearing sweaty, skin-tight lycra gather to drink overpriced, pretentious coffee, moan about the headwinds, and brag about how they beat the climbs. What a laugh. Unfortunately though, all superheroes also have an arch enemy. Batman has the Joker and Sherlock Holmes has Moriarty. And us cyclists, well, we have something far more insidious. We have thoughts that can creep into our heads and sabotage our rides even before we've clicked in. They whisper doubts, they tempt us and try and convince us to stay home. They're not potholes or inconsiderate drivers. The real enemies are in our own heads, and believe me, they're sneaky little buggers. The first and most relentless enemy is fear. And it's not fear of the danger, because I think many of us are perfectly happy descending at 70 kilometers an hour with only a thin layer of lycra between us and full body road rash. Instead, it's the quiet, insidious fears that hold us back. What if I can't keep up? Or what if my legs give up halfway round? Or what if I get kidnapped by aliens? Well, chances are you'll be fine. But if you're not, then you'll survive anyway. At least you'll have a cool story to tell at the next cafe stop. And if you're a beginner and afraid of making a few rookie mistakes, well, guess what? We've all been there. And if people do laugh, it's only because they've made exactly the same mistakes as well. And then there are those quiet little voices that say things like, what if I'm too slow? What if I don't look like a real cyclist? And what if people judge me for looking like a sack of custard in skin-tight lycra? Well, you know what? I think most people are too busy with their own lives to worry about you. And if they do judge you, well, f the bozos. Maybe you're coming back after some time off, or maybe you're just starting out, or maybe every single ride still feels like it's an uphill slog. But here's the secret: nobody ever feels fully fit. Even the most fittest, most elite cyclists secretly still think that they should be doing better. Comfort, on the other hand, is the most tricky enemy, and that's because it's so convincing. It's warm, it's cozy, and it doesn't make your legs burn. But it's also a liar. Yeah, but it's easier to sit on the sofa than to go outside. Well, of course it is. Sofas are literally designed to be tempting. They're soft, they've got Netflix, they've got chocolate biscuits, and more importantly, they don't challenge you. But ask yourself this: when was the last time that you bragged about sitting on the sofa like a champ? Nobody actually enjoys suffering, except maybe Billy Big Bollocks as he's pushing himself hard up a really steep climb. For us normal people though, the key is remembering that tiredness from a good ride is satisfying, whereas tiredness from doing nothing just leaves us feeling sluggish and lethargic. But okay, let's not overlook the weather here. If you live in the UK, you'll know that it can be glorious sunshine one minute and an absolute monsoon the next, sometimes at the same time. And obviously, yeah, you're not going to be overly enchanted to go out and ride in that. But if you do, then chances are it might not be quite as bad as you first think. And if it is, well, you're just going to get some extra bragging rights for riding in apocalyptic conditions. Fear and comfort are very sneaky because they do all their damage before you've even got on the bike. That's when the excuses start piling up. I'm too tired, it's too cold, or I'll go out and do it tomorrow. But here's the hack: just don't give them time to argue. Put your kit on, get your bike out, start riding. That's it. No big decisions, no dramatic pep talks, no negotiating with yourself. Just get out there and start riding for a few minutes. And then if you really are too tired, or it's too cold, or there's a load of aliens out there with a rather uncomfortable looking probe, then stop. Fear and comfort thrive on hesitation, but every ride you do chips away at their power. Every mile builds confidence, every climb makes the next one easier, and every wet, windy and miserable ride you do just proves that you're tougher than you think. And then before you even know it, you're doing rides that you once thought were impossible. So you're riding further, climbing stronger, laughing at the weather, and talking about doing 100-kilometre rides like it's perfectly normal, which, to be honest, it absolutely isn't. But yeah, you get the idea. Fear and comfort are always going to be there whispering their nonsense, but their power is taken away when you stop listening. The hardest part of any ride isn't the hills, it's not the distance or the weather, it's just getting out the door. Beat that and you've won. I always say that there's something more that we can learn that can make our cycling even better. And that's why I've created my own free monthly newsletter packed with tips and tricks to help you do just that. If you'd like to sign up, I'll leave a link in the description below. In the meantime though, thank you for watching and I'll see you on the next one.